Welcome back, guys. It's Danny
and Christianna
at Colony Cinemas in Atascadero. We just got through watching Mickey 17. I've got my old school movie beer here. We opened in the first take, and that's fine. It didn't explode on me. I poured in this amazing Coca-Cola cup from the theater.
Yep.
What the heck just happened? We watched Mickey 17. It had Robert Pattinson, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, and Naomi Aki. It was directed by Bong, Joon. He's from Parasite. Christianna, clue me in. What did we just watch?
That is the question of the day, because that movie had so many things going on at one time. I mean, technically, you're just watching a movie about Mickey.
17. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, about 17 of you.
I mean, he wasn't really fine. Mickey dies a lot.
He dies a lot.
And that's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer.
Yeah, he had nice British teeth.
Yes.
He was very much Jekyll and Hyde at times.
Yep.
Whenever he ends up confronting himself. So the camera work was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The way they spliced it all together, it's like they started originally with the Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Bob Hoskins is talking to Roger, and I'm like a 9-year-old going, how did they do that? And now here I am later, way older than 9 years old.
A little bit.
And I'm looking at Rob, talking to Rob, and I'm like, okay, it's a split screen. But like now they're interchanging, they're touching, they're interacting with each other, and it's moving way past the split screen with his love interest, Naomi. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And this gets me into foreign films. We are so spoiled whenever we get gems like this. The director I told you, Bong Joon-ho, he did Parasite, and both of these movies were so out of the box. It's like the preview almost doesn't do it justice, where we come in and it's like, okay, we got like duplicity, and we're making copies of copies, and they're expendable, and I get it. But then it goes in 15 separate directions all at once, and you're just left there on the ride going, this is amazing.
It was super fun. And I think it was really like the acting chops of everybody just pulled it in, and also like gave you that emotional connection to this really wacky thing you were watching.
Yeah. Just the way, like I was saying, Robert Pattinson could just kind of switch up from a character A to a character B and interact with himself, because it's already hard. How they do it in Hollywood is they'll put like a tennis ball with like a little smiley face on it, and they're all, that's you.
Yeah.
Act that out. And then they'll switch it over to the other side, and they're all, that's you there. Interact with them. So even how they were shooting down on like Mickey as he's kind of the feeble Mickey, and then they're shooting up at the dominant Mickey, like the POVs of it all, it just goes hand in hand with Robert Pattinson's acting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, not a super huge, like he was cool in Batman, didn't get into the whole sparkly vampire. I'm sorry. I'm more Lost Boys. My vampires need mullets. They don't need to sparkle. But he killed it in this. And it was like Robert should win dual Oscars for both portrayals of two totally separate Mickeys with bad haircuts and British teeth.
Yeah, and not to count like all the other Mickeys. You meet a lot of Mickeys.
Absolutely. Yep. And they had Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yep.
And like in The Walking Dead, you love Glenn. You're sad for him later. In this one, his rascal meter off the chart.
Not a fan.
Yep. Speaking of rascals, Mark Ruffalo. What happened? 13 going on 30. We love G. Ye led us right down the path of victory. Here you are now joining President Scrooge from Spaceballs. Any other kind of like Billy Bob Thornton in Love Actually as El Presidente. Yeah. It makes me feel sometimes like, you know what? As a human race, if this guy's leading, we're kind of the bad guys.
Oh, 100%. He had very nefarious vibes.
Yeah, his rascometer. There we go. Coined film division. No one ever takesy backsies. It's ours. The rascometer was through the roof. Everything he did, he just used the greasiness. He used the rascaliness, and I was like, Mark Ruffalo, those fake teeth they have in for you right now are very fitting, and you are just a rascal, sir.
And it also made him talk kind of a little different, like the whole thing.
Or he's licking his teeth.
Yeah, it was gross.
And we'll get into his love interest, Toni Collette.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she has been in like everything lately.
Love to hate her.
Yeah,
love to hate her.
Always very much I don't know if it's the Ruscalita but she definitely hits the Ruscometer as well as the female version, Rascalita.
Yep.
And so these two, love to hate them, and they gave us every reason in this movie to hate. Just like they were hating on, I don't want to get too far into it, but the poor little alien inhabitant.
Who were so great.
Yeah.
Like, I loved them. I loved that they were also given a level of humanity, so you weren't just like, oh, those things.
Right. They're hairy.
Yeah.
I dig hairy. I get it. I understand hairy. I speak it fluently.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the story real quick. We've obviously got a replicant that they have deemed Mickey, and he is called an expendable. They're going to take this colony and colonize a new galaxy or moon or whatnot. Planet
of some sort. It seems very cold.
Right, lots of snow. Kind of like whenever we're like, we should go inhabit Mars. I'm like, you know what? I think we should just. I don't want to get like too social or political, but like we should just make Earth like better. Yeah. You know, we should do better and not go try to mess up Mars. Just like these guys are like, we need to go replicate. We need to go here and colonize another because we've messed this one. We fouled the nest too much.
Yep.
And or even like in Spaceballs, whenever I go to that just because he's such a president screw, Mark Ruffalo.
Right. Yep.
They go to steal all the air, and it's always these nefarious guys who want to take all these resources, and there's already inhabitants there on the planet, which are these woolly aliens. And you know what? They mean you no harm or mean you no harm.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very smart, well thought out. Luckily, they get a translator because I don't know what the heck they're saying at first with a bunch of clicks and beeps and boops and stuff like that.
100%.
And watching Robert Pattinson interact with the beeper and booper, making the sounds.
Yeah.
Fabulous job.
You know what?
Oh my goodness.
We're just gonna say that our Pats does really well acting against the green screen.
Yeah.
Because he interacts with a lot of things that aren't really there.
Like Kristen Stewart. I'm sorry, that's rascally. I had to bring in one Twilight reference.
So good.
I'm sure someone out there somewhere likes her. And if she's watching, I apologize for you acting the way you do in your movies. And me, I apologize for having to sit through them and then go, wow, there it is. That was a thing. I digress. Getting away from Kristen Stewart.
Yep.
Speaking of lack of music.
Yeah.
Where was the music? Where was the Eddie money? Where was the striper? You're right.
We did not need it. It helped, I think, with the atmosphere. I think it pulled you in. It made it a little claustrophobic at times in the best sort of way, and kind of layered in that sense a level of like it upped the creep factor.
Yeah.
Instead of having music to help up the creep factor,
it made you vulnerable. Yep. Yeah, the silence was vulnerable. Yep. It was like vulnerability was a character all the way throughout the whole story. Yep. So it makes perfect sense why Bong Joon-ho decided to go with a minimalistic approach to the soundtrack.
Yep.
And it worked. I mean, I could have used, just because I love music, I could have throw in some Rocky, throw in something. But this time, okay, it's tasteful. We'll go with the minimalistic approach. Altogether, I am going to go with 3.5. What was it, Twinkling Vampires, or what was the...
or Mickeys.
There we go.
Mickeys.
3.5 Mickeys. Yeah. Out of 5 Mickeys on this. Yes. I had fun out of the box, and I enjoy movies like this, like Parasite, and I hope that this little offering right here will inspire more foreign filmmakers or even American filmmakers to drop the cookie cutter and go out a little bit more. You've got like infinity $1 billion budget.
Yep.
You've got all these creative people working, and let your imagination be your guide. Don't have to be like we have to follow this.
Right.
Tried and true.
Yep.
It's like, you know what? Take a risk. Bong
Yep.
Joon did it. He's done it before.
Yep.
He'll do it again. 3.5 out of 5 Mickeys for me. How about you, Christianna?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Mickeys.
Alright.
I also thought there was just, I'm not usually like a social commentary girly, but there was a lot of really cool layers to this story that I picked up on that I think are very timely for right now. And I loved some of those connotations. I think a good filmmaker comes at you and says something very powerful without hitting you over the head with it, and I feel like that was done here.
I agree. He did not go down the super preachy, maybe Michael Moore, which he's great too in his own aspect, but he didn't have to take it down that road for you to get what he was saying. He didn't need to be beat over the head with the message. We fully get it. We fully understand. We fully appreciate the message he was giving. If you guys had fun with this, go see the movie. Come to the theater. Heck yes. Yeah. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Sorry.
Yep.
And if you didn't, tell no one. Move on. Watch the My Little Pony videos or whatever you're gonna go with the the Mr. Bill videos. That's fine too.
But if not, come hang out with us.
Exactly. We're gonna be here in a couple weeks.
So fun.
At the theater watching the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with our Monday Night Movie Club. 3 days later, we're going to have a whole BMX extravaganza for the movie Rad. That'll be on March 17th, and Rad is on March 20th.
Yep.
I'm just going to go into it real quick on Rad. More conflicts should be solved by BMX races down Hell Track. And at prom, we need to see at least 1 or 2 of our youth now. This is what we give you. You guys communicate through BMX dance to Scorpion songs, like Aunt Becky from Full House and Crew Jones doing the movie. We appreciate that kind of stuff. You guys, in the wars, all right? Let's fight it all out with the BMX race on Hell Track.
Yep.
Okay? Thank you so much once again for watching. My name's Danny.
I'm Christianna.
We'll see you at the movies.
Yep. Bye.